welcome to Wilkes Now. I'm Brianna Ebish.
And I'm Jacob Chasen. So we're glad to be back for another semester of Wilkes Now.
We're super excited for all of our shows and the segments we have planned, and we're really glad to be back.
It's going to be a great semester,
Yeah,
I think.
definitely.
And to start off the show, let's check in with Cabrini for this week's Beacon Brief.
We did it.
Peter Nicki, the co-news editor for the Beacon here at Wilkes. Here's what's going on. The university held its first ever leadership conference on Sunday. The conference, titled Explore, invited students to attend a Keystone speaker as well as breakout sessions. The Keystone speaker was Charles Copley, an alum of Wilkes who offered advice to students on how to become a leader. In other news, Wilkes was awarded an It's On Us scholarship from the state. The grant, which is $30,000, focuses on eliminating sexual violence on campus. The university also announced its new categorization as a research doctoral university by Carnegie Classification. The new accreditation makes Wilkes one of 14 universities in Pennsylvania to be acknowledged for its doctoral programs by the classification. Thanks for checking in, guys. That's all I have for today. I'm Cabrini Renicki, and this is Beacon Briefs. Now let's get back to the studio.
Thanks, Cabrini. Did you receive a new coat for the holidays? Did you clean out your closets over break? Please consider donating your extra, unneeded coats to the Interfaith Office's Coat Drive. We still have many cold days ahead of us, and donations tend to be lower at this time of the year. All the coats will be given to the coat closet at Trinity Lutheran Church in Kingston. A collection box will be available by the information desk in the Henry Student Center. Questions or in need of a coat? Contact Kristen Ossenpower at wilkes.edu. Let's check in with DJ Renegade with his segment Renegade Reviews.
Castle Crashers is a game developed and released by the Behemoth in 2008 and beautifully remastered in 2015. In this game, you play as one of four knights going on the traditional hero's journey. Welcome to Renegade Reviews. Our story begins with an evil wizard that steals a king's magical gem and then flies off into the distance. Your job as one of the four royal knights is to recover this gem and restore peace and harmony to his kingdom. But you must also save his four daughters from the villainous horde that wants to rule the world. How do you do this, you might be asking? Well, there's a lot of ways, but mainly it's going to involve crashing some castles. See what I did there? You're going to be beating up barbarians and enemies with your sword, pulling off combos, and doing all sorts of tricks to save the day and the kingdom. Now let's move on to the gameplay. If you can't tell based on what you're looking at, this is a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up where the name of the game is to kill all the enemies on the screen in order to progress to the next section of the level or to progress to the next stage. This will take you all across the map, with tons of different levels to explore and many different enemy types to face off against and do battle with. You will be sometimes joined by other partners, little knights joining your team, or your animal orb, which can grant you special abilities in battle. Once you get really good at this game, you can get really tricky with some of the combos you pull off. As you can see, I really like pulling off the aerial combo where you do a heavy attack and then just do a light attack in the air on a bunch of enemies to clear out a massive chunk of the area at once. And this comes with experience, because you'll be able to juggle enemies like it is nothing by the time you reach the middle point of the game. But don't get too cocky, because there are other enemy types out there. There are these little guys, of course, but there are these big beefy fellows, and they take a lot of damage and can give a lot of damage as well, so it's best to use magic on them. Now you see my blue knight, he has ice magic. Ice magic is the staple of the blue knight, but every other knight has their own forms of magic that they can use. Orange has fire, red has lightning, green has poison. So pick your favorite, and make sure you continue on your quest to save the princesses and stop the evil wizard. With a little bit of training, some luck, and lots of skill, you can go very far. Alright, before we end this review, we need to talk about the bosses. And I'm not talking about this little guy right here. I'm talking about this big beefy fellow that breaks down the door and gets in your face showing you what a real boss is like. When I was a kid, this was so amazing to experience. I remember getting my hands on the demo of this game thinking, oh, hey, we could beat this little barbarian dude pretty easily. We fought a bigger tank before. But no, when you see this giant monstrosity hulking towards you, you know that you are in for a fun boss fight. And the bosses only get better from here. Each one has their own tricks and maneuvers that the player is going to have to deal with. Some can be beaten very easily, others may take some practice. I'd be lying if I said there weren't a few bosses in this game that still didn't give me trouble to this day. Despite that, I love each and every boss in this game. They are some of the best features of Castle Crashers gameplay. So the verdict. If you have not gone out and already purchased Castle Crashers, you should, because the gameplay is phenomenal. It is the perfect example of having a simple game, but perfecting everything to the highest level. The gameplay is fun and addictive. It is simple enough for anyone to master, with a light attack, heavy attack, and some magic. But once you master it, you can do crazy combos and really have lots of fun. I recommend this game to any and everyone. Until next time, see you in the studio.
Thanks, DJ Renegade. A GoFundMe has been created for Nicholas Miller. Nicholas is a junior mechanical engineering major from Dalton, PA. Just over a month ago, Nick's brother, Jeremy, died in a fire that destroyed the family home. The Dalton community has established a GoFundMe to support the Rosencrans and Miller family in this great time of need. Those members of the Wilkes family wishing to contribute to the fund can access the page at www.gofundme.com/Miller Rosencrans Fire Memorial Fund. Now check out this interview with Earl Utter, the women's ice hockey coach.
Here with us we have Coach Utter. Good evening, Coach Utter.
Hi, Taylor.
How confident are you in your team's aptitude to finish the season better than they started?
Well, I'm really confident in the fact that they will work hard every game. That's all we've asked from them all year, is just to work hard, do the things that we've asked them to do, and I have no reason they haven't stopped doing that yet. So I think we'll be fine with that the rest of the year.
Thank you, Coach. What do you feel is a stronger asset to your team right now, wingers or defensive players?
Well, I think that everybody right now is chipping in to do their part. Since we don't have as many, we're not a fully staffed team, if you will. Everybody's chipping in to do their part. So there's not really, I don't think that there's been one consistent position that's let us down. I think every position, and we've forced kids to play every position except goal. I think every position is holding its own and really basically going above and beyond my expectations for them.
What have been some of the X factors for opponents that have played you guys this season and their contributes to their success against you guys?
Well, I think that one of the X factors is that this is our first year, and certainly the first year is, we don't have as many kids as some of the other teams that we've played, but I'm confident that if we had as many kids as some of the other teams that we've played, I'm confident that our win-loss record would be a lot better. I think that, that tends to wear down the kids. We played 10 games in the first semester, and by the time Christmas break rolled around, they were pretty tired. And so I would just say the numbers that we would have would be the X factor.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
As far as team chemistry goes, it's very essential for team success in any sport. Do you see genuine growth in the core of your team for women's hockey this season?
Yeah, I would say that I would like to say that they were all good when they came in and got along with each other, but I think just like any situation where you go through hard times and go through difficult things, that brings you closer together as a group, and I think that's where we went. We're certainly closer together as a group now than we were before. Yeah, I think it's been a good combination and a good, they've melted out their problems a little bit, if they've had any, and worked them out, and they all seem to pull for each other, and they're all pretty happy about being where they are right now. So team chemistry I don't see as a big problem.
Definitely sounds optimistic at this point. What should the fans watch for in the next few games coming up?
Well, I think just the work ethic that we have to have. I think that our players, they work hard, they love to play hockey, and they like to represent Wilkes. So they do that, and that's the biggest thing that you look for, is just how hard they work and how much fun they have when they're playing, and how excited they are for each other when good things happen.
Thank you, Coach.
Sure.
Thank you for your time, Coach, and now back to
welcome.
Anchor One.
Thank you. The Education Department of Wilkes University is once again sponsoring Adventures in Reading, an after-school reading program for children in grades pre-K through 5. Teacher education candidates will present innovative thematic learning opportunities across the content areas with a focus on vocabulary and comprehension enrichment. The series of 7 sessions, which is free of charge, begins on Wednesday, February 27, 2019, and runs from 4 to 5 p.m. on the second floor of Bryce's Hall. Contact Dr. Diane Polachek at diane.polachek@wilkes.edu for more information and registration forms. Registration must be received by Friday, February 1st, 2019. Now check out this pizza review by Tyler and Parker.
Alright, Allie, you're outside Franco's Pizza here in Wilkes-Barre. So, Main Street, beautiful Italian-American pizzeria. So, I went with the regular plain slice of pie. Parker, you got the cut of your Sicilian, so. First looks, it's looking pretty good. Not much flop. It feels like it's going to be crunchy, so we're going to see. Parker, you already took a bite. You beat me to it, so one bite. We're going to try it, Parker. And we apologize, last time we did the pizza review, our first one, there was like a hurricane going on. Now this pizza's gonna be frozen by the time I get to it. So
yeah, now it's like 5 degrees outside, so it's not really much better. At least it's not raining.
One extreme to the next. So Parker, you want to dive into your review? I'm gonna try a slight bite of mine.
Oh yeah, it wasn't in the oven too long, which is nice. I mean, it's warm, and it's very soft. It's not burnt on the bottom or anything, and decent amount of sauce and cheese, and it's a lot of dough. It's pretty thick. I like it. It's not bad.
So, like I said, there's very little flop. It's pretty crunchy, but it's a pretty good slice. For one slice, it is pretty good. I'll give it that. Good sauce to cheese ratio. I'm going to take a bite of the crust. Very doughy and crunchy as well, so I'm a bit surprised. The inside, very Italian decor. I like it. Makes you feel like you're in Italy. So, like we did the first time, our rating is 1 to 5 pepperoni. So, Parker, if you're ready to rate yours, you can go all in.
Yeah, I'd probably give 4 out of 5 pepperonis. I like it. It does more than get a job, and it's actually pretty good. I enjoy it.
So, gotta let the wind die down. I'm gonna go with the 2.6 on this one out of 5. This is good, but there's just a couple things that are holding me back from giving it a 3. So, but besides that, I'm gonna go 2.6 out of 5 pepperonis. That's Pizza Review, Franco's, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Out. Walk away.
Thank you guys with that pizza review. We'll be right back with more Wilkes Now after this short break.
Mother Earth, a gift under our care. Let's not go back. Nurture nature. Nourish the soil and your soul. Let's mend our planet together. Make Mother Earth smile.
Welcome to Sports Now. I'm your host, Kirsten Peters.
And I'm Eric Bideman.
Since the winter intersession, some important sports news has happened. The first-year men's ice hockey team moved into first place in the United Collegiate Hockey Conference, the UCHC, after tying 4-4 with Elmira back on January 21st.
Since then, the Colonels have been able to hold on to their top spot, securing a 4-0 shutout victory against crosstown rival Kings College this past Thursday. This was the second time the Colonels kept the Monarchs from scoring, as they won 3-0 earlier in the season. Goalie Brandon Gordon earned his 12th win and third shutout on the victory.
According to Gordon, I think just mentally I've been staying strong for 60 minutes. The team has been playing really well in front of me defensively and blocking shots.
In a non-conference matchup against Bryn Athyn on Saturday, the Colonels scored 4 power play goals that led them to a 5-1 victory.
After impressive performances in both the Kings game and the Bryn Athyn game, freshman Michael Gerska was named MAC Defensive Player of the Week. This was his third time receiving the honor in the past 6 weeks.
Wilkes has clinched a playoff spot in the upcoming UCHC tournament and will continue their season with 2 contests this weekend.
As for the women's ice hockey team, the Colonels are still looking to attain their first victory of the season.
Despite having a losing record, Wilkes is showing improvement on the ice as Loren Frazier and Kendall Castro both scored goals in Wilkes' 4-2 loss against Post University.
Callie Erickson scored the most recent goal for the Colonels in their 4-1 loss against Lebanon Valley. Wilkes will face them again tomorrow night.
In men's basketball news, the Colonels made a statement this week with wins over Manhattanville and DeSales.
Staying true to their defensive identity, the Colonels kept Manhattanville to under 33% shooting from the floor. Senior Connor Evans was the high scorer for Wilkes with 18 points, and Mark Mullins recorded a double-double.
Following their win against Manhattanville, Wilkes' real challenge came against DeSales, the top team in the conference.
Despite the fact that the Bulldogs were in possession of the ball with 10 seconds remaining, the Colonels were able to pull off the thrilling victory 78-77.
According to game-high scorer Marcus Robinson, we know that nobody makes every shot they take. We know that if we kept making them take contested, low-percentage shots, we would be able to get some stops and fight back into the game.
On Wednesday night, Manhattanville's Sarah Coutu proved to be the women's Achilles heel, having an impenetrable game and scoring a game-high 31 points.
Despite the Valiant's impressive showing, the Colonels were able to tie up the game at 51 each when freshman Steph Kramer executed a perfectly timed three-pointer with 2:44 left in the third quarter.
However, Manhattanville's 21 points from behind the arc and 77 free throw percentage helped them to regain their lead and beat the Colonels by 9. Senior Gab Giordano led the Colonels with 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists.
This loss is not representative of the growth that Wilkes has been having as a program, as the Colonels fell to Manhattanville by a significantly larger margin of 83-50 earlier in the beginning of December.
According to new head coach Tara Machioko, who previously coached 14 seasons at Marywood University, I'm really proud of the progress that the team has made. 2 months ago, Manhattanville beat us by 33 points. For us to bounce back and play them as close as we did shows that we are making great strides and just have to continue to work on the little things each day to become more consistent and walk off the court as better players and a better team.
Both basketball teams will face Misericordia tomorrow night.
After competing in the John Reese Duels and displaying dominance over Penn College on their senior night this past Friday, the wrestling team has improved to an 8-game win streak.
Senior Nicholas Racanelli posted a technical fall, winning 19-3 in the 195-pound weight class, leading the Colonels to 30-0 heading into the Final Four bouts.
Along with the seniors being honored, Racanelli was also presented his 100-win plaque, an impressive feat that he accomplished in early January.
According to head coach John Laudenslager, I'm just excited where we're at right now with our team. I think we're clicking and our guys are getting after people. It was just a great event. The dual meets just kind of keep us fresh, and we want to stay healthy for three weeks until Lycoming when we try to qualify for the national tournament.
In the meantime, the Colonels are set to take on Ithaca this Friday night.
As for swimming, the men are having a steady season, while the women are struggling a bit in the conference.
In the men's win against Marywood, sophomore Jared Byron and freshman Trey Harloff led the Colonels with 3 wins apiece, with 2 coming in individual events.
On the women's side, sophomore Abby Keating walked away with 2 wins for the team.
Both teams fell to crosstown rival Kings College and await the MAC championships.
As for our Beacon Athlete of the Weeks, last week's newspaper featured men's ice hockey player Tyler Barrow and women's basketball player Maddie Kelly.
This week, it's the same lineup with men's ice hockey and women's basketball. On the men's side, it's Brandon Gordon, and on the women's side, it's Gab Giordano earning the honors.
Be sure to grab a copy of the Beacon around campus.
That's our weekly recap for Sports Now. I'm Kirsten Peters.
And I'm Eric Beiteman. Now it's time for a report with Luke.
Thanks, guys. I'm Luke Madrosky outside of Public Safety right now, where we had the opportunity to sit down with Chief Chris Jago to discuss a number of items affecting the Wilkes campus. Chief Jago, first I want to talk about the Colonel Connector. Can you just tell us about why Wilkes was looking to implement this?
Yeah. Well, the main reason that I wanted to expand our services, we have a lot of students that are taking classes up at King's College. We have folks that are in ROTC. So bringing on a civilian employee that could assist us with moving students, faculty, and staff around a little bit more efficiently and safer is something we were looking to do. We go as far south as about Ross Street and as far north all the way up to King's College. And then going back across the river, we cover, of course, Ralston, and then we go back to those gateway apartments.
Tell us a little bit about these speaker systems on campus that you've been
We're
covering.
really excited about that. It's nothing new as far as outdoor mass notification. They're very powerful speakers that we have mounted on the roof of the public safety garage. And so if we had a weather event or something that we wanted to get immediate notification out to the community that something's coming our way, take shelter. The important thing again is just adding on to what we did with the Colonel Connector. It's not to address a particular issue, it's just to enhance all the tools we have available to us as public safety.
Little issue here during the fall term with graffiti. So you did say that a person was identified.
It was painstaking to put everything together and identify a subject, but we were pretty committed to stopping this because, as I had mentioned in earlier messages, it was a significant amount of damage. So through the use of our camera systems and just good old-fashioned detective work, we were able to identify a Wilkes student who was involved in this. I think at this point right now, we'll look to see how this plays out with student affairs and how cooperative the student continues to be and sort of making the university whole from the damage that was done. And then once we have a good indication of what's going on with that, we'll make further decision about whether we want to pursue this criminally or not.
Obviously, a lot of interesting things happening on the Wilkes campus right now. Don't forget that you can download the Wilkes Shield public safety app on your smartphone. And of course, Wilkes will be transitioning into a fully sworn police department. As more develops on that, we will have that information for you. But for now, for Wilkes Now, I'm Luke Madrosky. Back to the anchor desk for more.
That's all the time we have for today. Just a reminder, you can watch us live every Tuesday on Service Electric Channel 97 at 12 noon. Also, you can check out our YouTube channel for episodes of the show.
And in case you missed it, our broadcast re-airs every weeknight at 7:30 p.m. I thank you very much for watching. From all of us here at Wilkes Now, have a great week.